Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. I already have you zoomed in and ready to go, and that's because today we are testing out the brand new Chanel Ultra Le Teint foundation formula and the new corrector. I just got back from visiting the boutique. I asked some questions about upcoming new releases and I was able to see all of these new shades. So they definitely added shades to both the Ultra Le Teint foundation and the corrector, but then they also tweaked the formula a little bit. Now, Ultra Le Teint, it's my favorite. I love that foundation, but I finished my last bottle probably close to a year ago, so oh my gosh, I'm getting a ton of smells coming from that bag because I also went on a perfume journey. But back to what I was saying. It's been a while since I've used that foundation, however, I still consider it to be my favorite because it's beautiful. It's medium but buildable to full coverage, a matte finish. It's everything that I look for in a special occasion foundation. The concealer is one of my all-time favorites. So when I heard they tweaked the formula, I was so upset. I'm going to go ahead and unwrap everything. Here we have the packaging. It doesn't look like anything changed with the name, the exterior packaging. The bottle, the tube is exactly the same. So if you didn't follow Chanel Beauty, if these aren't your go-to products, you wouldn't even notice that a change had occurred. Until just now when I was pulling out my products, I thought I had one of the original correctors, but I realized that I only have this rose corrector. This came out a while ago, so it's the same formula as the original concealer or corrector, but I don't have my beige 10, and this is the shade that I always get, B10 in the concealer and then B30 in the foundation. Those have just always been my Chanel shades. It's what I wear in every single foundation. So I am going to do one on each side and I will try to see if there's a difference. It might look a little bit bizarre because the rose is obviously a slightly different shade than the B10, but the formula should be different. This is the new formula, this is the old formula. So we'll see if there is a noticeable difference. I'm hoping that there's not. I'm hoping my face looks exactly the same. All I have on my face right now is moisturizer, and since this is technically a new formula, I'm going to go ahead and apply this directly to the skin. Anytime I'm testing out a new foundation formula, I always like to skip primer, at least the first time. They took out one tiny ingredient. It really shouldn't make a huge difference with the formula. So I don't imagine I'm going to have any issues with this, but I was just kind of curious, and since I didn't have a bottle on hand, I figured this is the perfect time to go ahead and get this. All of the ingredients are listed on the back. I don't have an old box, so I can't really compare. I couldn't tell you what ingredient they tweaked or took out. It does still contain parfum or fragrance, the very last thing listed. The first ingredient is water. I'm pretty sure water was the first ingredient on the original as well. Yeah, and then just a bunch of words that I can't pronounce. So I'm not really the person to speak to ingredients, but from what I understand, they were trying to make it cleaner, and I know that has been a big initiative in not just foundations, but skincare with Chanel, is trying to clean up their formulas. So I think that's a good thing. They changed the boutique around. It was so nice. Everything is sublimage now. They changed over from Factory 5. Now everything is sublimage. So they have a beautiful gold display when you walk into the store, and then everything looks so luxurious and sublimage themed. It's very pretty. Yeah, it looks the same, I think, from what I can remember. I really like this formula. I can't say there's really a noticeable difference between this and the other, but I just think it looks so pretty. For a matte foundation, it doesn't look cakey. It blends really nicely all over the skin, doesn't accentuate any texture or pores. And it does give you really nice coverage. Of course, if there's any spots on your face that you want to build up the coverage, you can. But you can also sheer out this formula. It's not a very heavy, full coverage matte foundation. You know, that can scare some people. 2 pumps covered the whole face. Everything looks really good. Everything looks smooth. And I really can't see that many freckles shining through. It did a really great job covering, so if you do like coverage, this is definitely the formula to go with. But it also has a natural matte finish. Anything that's matte from Chanel isn't going to be too matte, it's not going to be too drying. I'm in that very awkward in-between sunless tan stage, so I am going to pump a little bit more, and I'm going to bring this down my neck because my entire neck, chest, arms are very splotchy. I need to exfoliate tonight and then I will start fresh. When you go to Chanel.com, I just pulled up the website. When you click on new arrivals under makeup, it does list the Ultra Le Teint Ultra Wear All Day Comfort Flawless Finish Foundation and the corrector de Chanel, but that's because they did expand the shade range. So it looks like there are 35 shades of the Ultra Le Teint foundation. Ooh, BD11, that's a new shade. So it starts with BD01, then B10, so they added a lighter shade, even lighter than B10. B10 is kind of the starting point. The list goes on, and then they also added some deeper shades, like a BD101, BD111, that's definitely new. BR151, BR172 is the deepest shade. So it looks like they added a handful of lighter shades. They definitely needed one paler than B10, but most of the new shades are going to be on the deeper side of the spectrum, which is great news because this is an amazing formula and as many people as possible need to be able to try it out. The real test is going to be trying this new corrector. So here I have my brand new Corrector de Chanel in B10 and then my original Le Corrector de Chanel. This is the rose, so it's a color corrector. I think they updated the color correctors as well. They have one that's apricot, light green. They have this rose. I want to say there's maybe one more. It might just be the 3. But they also expanded the shade range of the correctors as well, which is amazing. So again, it looks like they added a lighter shade, 02 Rosé, which might actually have been comparable to my rose corrector. So it's 02 Rosé, then it goes to 10, 20, 30, 31 Doré, 32 Rosé, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 91 Doré, 92 Rosé, 121, 132 Rosé, and 152. So they really have a nice range of concealers. With concealer, you're going to have a smaller shade range typically, and it doesn't necessarily have to be tone on tone. If you're concealing a pimple or a blemish, then yes. If you're concealing the under eye, chances are you might want a little brightness. You might want something that's going to help color correct against blue or purple bags. Unfortunately, they're not a match, but I'm going to apply the new corrector to this side and my old rose corrector to this side. I think it's the same. It looks smooth. I like it. I think it looks really smooth. It definitely doesn't feel thick or cakey at all. I think it blended out really nicely. Almost a light veil of concealer. I was afraid my brush had picked up too much product and I needed to apply a little bit more. But I don't want to apply too much and then have it backfire. So I'm just going to leave it how it is. And now I'm going to go in with the rose corrector. So this is a different shade. It will give me a little bit more brightness. I think once I go in with powder and all of my other complexion products, it shouldn't look too funny. It looks the same. Different shade, of course, but it looks the same on the skin. I don't think I've ever compared these two. I mean, why would I? But I'm surprised to see in the viewfinder just how much more brightening this side is than this side. And of course, once it oxidizes, it's not going to be quite as bright. There's really not a noticeable difference, nothing that I can see. I think this side might look a little bit smoother, but I think I applied a little bit more product. about it. Now, if they perform differently, then that should be pretty obvious. Like if this side starts creasing really terribly and this side doesn't, I'll know there was absolutely a major change. But at the moment, both sides look pretty smooth. Both sides blended really easily. I have a great amount of coverage on both sides. This side is obviously a bit brighter, but this side doesn't look bad. I actually think it looks a bit more natural. Probably should have been using B10 all along. It seems like this change is more along the same lines as their Perfection Lumiere Velvet versus Ultra Le Teint Velvet. When they changed the bottle, they completely changed the name, but they were said to leave the formula exactly the same. Turns out they tweaked maybe one ingredient I think was slightly different on the back of the box. I couldn't see a noticeable difference on the skin, and I tested them one on each side of my face. So it sounds like this was a change, a little tweak. They extended the shade range, they added shades, but that's basically it. If you use these products, if these are your go-to complexion products, I don't think you're going to have a problem at all. In fact, you might find it easier to find a better shade match. I'm going to go ahead and finish the face. I pulled out the Le Beige Healthy Glow Bronzing Cream, and this is the shade 390. I think this is the original. And I'm going to blend that out with the Bobbi Brown Full Coverage Face Brush. This one is very light and natural. While I was at the boutique, I took the opportunity to ask a few questions, like about that 31 Rue Cambon powder, and from what I hear, it's not scheduled to come to the US, which is so disappointing, just gutted, terrible news. However, they didn't suggest that it was out of the picture completely. It was right now we're not getting it, just Europe. But who knows, something could change. It doesn't sound like anything is going to change, but she did give me a slight sliver of hope. So I'm just kind of crossing my fingers and toes and hoping that they launch it as a Black Friday or maybe a Cyber Monday, as I talked about in my last video. It's possible. I'm manifesting it. I put it out there to the universe. Maybe the Chanel gods will listen to us. Even after being told no, I'm not convinced. I just feel like, why would they do that to us? Of course they have to launch it here. I'm gonna hold out. I'm gonna wait and see. I know there are so many special things that are coming that are meant for the US, so I feel like if it doesn't come here, it wasn't meant to be. I'm not going to hunt it down and pay for the international shipping. That's just me personally. As much as I love it, and I do consider myself to be a Chanel collector, there are only so many hoops I'm willing to jump. But I know there are beautiful pieces coming down the pike, and they're going to be here pretty soon. The holiday collection is going to be incredible, so I'll just save my money for that. That reminds me, somebody had mentioned that they were afraid the eyeshadow palette was going to be $100, and I thought, no way. That is the worst rumor I've heard about Chanel in a long time. And I did ask, and they confirmed that the holiday palette is just going to be the normal price, which I think is $65. That's it. They're not upping the price. They're not going to make it outrageous. It's just going to be the holiday palette, and it happens to be incredibly beautiful. I'm sure some people would pay $100, but you don't have to. Anytime I do cream bronzers, really anytime I do bronzer, I always like to go back with my concealer brush and just blend around, make sure it's nice and soft. And I want to thank all of you for your kind comments and your sweet words about Jazzy, my dog. Some of you guys know that she was sick last month, but she is back to her normal spunky self. She has all of the energy and personality that she did before she got sick, so we're very thankful she made a full recovery. I pulled out my 608 Ombre Blush. This is part of the fall collection, which I can't even believe I reviewed that weeks ago because it doesn't feel like fall at all to me. Not just because I live in South Florida, it just doesn't feel like fall. I don't know what happened to the time, what happened to the year. I don't know. How do you guys feel? I guess the kids went back to school this week. I know this because of traffic. So maybe it's feeling like fall to other people. We do have plans to get away this weekend. I'm so excited. I booked it months ago. I got a really great deal, I think on hotels.com or something like that. And I thought, we'll probably cancel it. We're not going to go this weekend. I'll just go ahead and book it. I think it might have been in February because the prices were so good. I thought, let me just see what happens. And now we're here. We arrived at the weekend, so we're only going away for a couple nights to Key Largo, which is 45 minutes away, but there's something about that first bridge over to the Keys. You feel like, okay, I'm on vacation. To highlight, I pulled out my Lion de Chanel illuminating powder. I'm doing my best to use up this entire highlighter before the end of the year, so I know it's not available still, but something similar is available and I will make sure to link that. I think I'm gonna do it too. What about you guys? Have you gone anywhere good? I will live vicariously through you. Have you had any fun trips, vacations? I realize that travel is very funny at the moment, and a lot of people probably have no desire to travel. But even maybe a staycation, weekend away somewhere fun? Has anybody gone anywhere good? Let us know. So I pulled out the Chanel Le Beige Intense eyeshadow palette that launched as part of the Le Beige collection early summer. So pretty. I think I've only used it maybe once on camera, but it's a great go-to palette. I have been getting a ton of use out of it. I just think these colors are so pretty. With my Rephr 16 brush, I'm picking up this chocolatey shade right here. And I am just going to very lightly buff that in the crease. Kind of concentrating on the outer crease. Once most of the color has been deposited, I'm going to bring it in a little bit, and I'm also going to go a little bit above the crease just to make it soft. Same thing on the other side. I completely forgot to set my under eye. That never happens. I guess everything looked so smooth I didn't feel like I needed to, but I'm going to go back quickly with this Huda Beauty Banana Bread powder, and I'm going to set my concealer underneath the eye and the T-zone, just in case. Besides a little creasing right in there and right underneath the eye, right by the lash line, no creasing at all on either side. I think that's a really great sign. It's one of the reasons why I love the Chanel corrector so much. It really doesn't crease. I can just tap that out with my fingers. Even still, I don't want to set it up for failure, so I am going to set because this is my normal routine. But if you're somebody who doesn't like to set your concealer, if you're wondering if this would work for you, I think that's your answer. This is set, not set. I love this powder. I really think it makes a huge difference. It makes the makeup look so smooth and flawless and airbrushed, filtered, the works. It's good to have a little powder under the eyes as well. That way, if I do have any fallout from the eyeshadow, it'll be easier to brush away. With a Rephr 2 brush, any flat brush would do, I'm going into this bottom gold shade down here. And I'm going to apply this to the lid. Picking up a small precision brush, I'm going into that same bottom eyeshadow, and I'm going to use this underneath the lower lash line. I just wiped off my brush and I'm going into this really pretty pale shade. I'm going to pop that on the inner corner. Really pretty. I want to open the eye a little bit, so with my finger I'm going into this light gold and I'm just going to tap a little bit of that right on the center. I just picked up my Beige Perle Stilo Ombre A Contour Stick. I'm going to use this in the waterline. I filled in my eyebrows off camera the way I usually do, and then I did top eyeliner, and I have been using this By Terry Crayon Kohl. It's the Terribly Kohl in shade 7, Brown Secret. I use this and a little precision brush, and I always do a little baby wing and then I extend a little outer wing. For whatever reason, now that I've started doing this, I can't not do it. I feel like my face is blank bare. I'm missing something if I don't do it. It's habit now, which I don't mind. So I just do just the teeny tiniest little flick inside, and then I immediately connect it back to the tear duct. So I have this on the top, brows, and mascara. Gucci mascara per usual. Now, the real pop, the real excitement of this makeup look, I know you've been waiting for it, is the bright lipstick. So I'm going to use one of my new lipsticks that I just picked up. This is the Rouge à Lorlac 84 Rose Ambigu. It's one of the new shades they came out with. I think this is going to be so pretty for fall. Even though I'm not there yet mentally, it is coming, and I do think this is going to be a really pretty pink shade. So I also pulled out, what happened to it? Here we go. The Longwear Lip Pencil in the shade Piv 164. Oh, it shrunk. I have not used them. I was just about to say, I haven't used this, I think since I purchased it, which is probably, did these come out last year or the year before? 2020 is a blur. It might have been at the beginning of last year, whenever they launched these new lip liners. Oh my gosh. There we go. Okay, fresh and new. I don't want this to make the lipstick too dark, so I'm not going to fill them in. I overline the bottom a little bit, the bottom lip. Not too much, but I kind of take the line right below the natural line. I do the same with the top. I try to overline a little bit, not too much. So the lip liner is actually much plummier, but I think it works. The applicator on these is so nice, that tapered point. It really does help you be very precise. I don't think I'm going to be able to get them any more even than that, and I don't want to go in with more product because the more you layer, it becomes a little bit too thick. I don't want to say gunky, but it's very thin. All you need is one light coat. The more you build it up and build it up, it's going to feel really uncomfortable on your lips. See, right now they feel really great. I'm so used to wearing lip glosses. If I were wearing this out, I would definitely pack a lip gloss with me, but it doesn't feel uncomfortable, and I think it looks really great as it is as well. A final step that I always like to do anytime I have a bold lip especially is I like to go back then kind of assess the face, assess the situation, and most of the time I'll add a little bit more blush, sometimes a little bronzer, just to help balance out the face, because if your face doesn't really have that much color, and we really did a pretty neutral face today, it might just look a little bit funny. The neutral blush actually works better. See, like, I think that looks perfect. If I did a pink or a red or try to somehow match the lipstick a little bit too much, then it takes away from the lip. Depends what type of look you're going for. If you wanted something really monochromatic, then yes, that would be really pretty. But if you want the lip to be the star of the show, and I definitely do, there, I think this is better. The Essence Mist. Oh, we don't have to shake it. I love this stuff so much. The Hydra Beauty Essence Mist from Chanel. It's a treat. But this bottle is old. It's one of those products that I save for special occasions, and of course, we haven't really had many of those. Not a lot of reasons to celebrate. So it's just been sitting there, and now I feel like I need to use it up before it expires. So I'm going to go ahead and set my face. It's a nice continuous mist. It has vitamin C and E, hyaluronic acid. So yummy stuff for the skin. It smells amazing. It just instantly hydrates and sets. This is the complete look. I am done. Now, if I was wearing this out, I would straighten my little cowlick so that my hair looked okay. But I'm not going anywhere, so just don't mind my cowlicks. I don't want to heat style my hair if I don't have to. I'm going to top off my lips with a little lip gloss. That way you can see what the lip looks like when it's glossy, in case you're a gloss girl. This is Rose Pulp, 728. See, it didn't feel bad before, but now it just feels amazing. I love this lip gloss formula. It's a little bit thick-ish, thick in a really great way, but it leaves your lips feeling just comforted. I know this head tilt back and forth thing is very awkward. I feel awkward. I don't know how awkward it feels to watch, but I'm just trying to show you the makeup, different angles. Sometimes my lighting isn't really great in this room. I am not a professional when it comes to lighting. So I just kind of want to give you all of the angles that you see the skin in movement a little bit. So that's why I kind of turn side to side. Kind of surprised myself. I like this look. Not that I didn't think I was going to like it, but I like it more than I thought I would. Why don't I wear brighter lipsticks more often? That's what's going through my head right now. I'm so used to seeing myself in nudes. And of course with the masks it doesn't help, because at least if you smudge or smear a nude lipstick a little bit underneath the mask, it's not quite as noticeable. With a lip like this, not really that practical, unless you're going to maybe somebody's house or a really small get-together where you're not going to need your mask. Outside, if you're just going for a run by yourself outside, you just want everybody to see your new lipstick. That way you can take it for a spin. I am so happy with the way this look turned out. I'm so happy I filmed it. That way I can go back and reference this video if I'm trying to recreate this look, if I do have somewhere really special to go. I have nowhere special to go tonight except for the couch, but I will go interrupt my husband's workday so I can show him my makeup before I wash my face. That completes today's look. We are set. We have all of the products on. I'm going to look a little bit closer in the mirror so I can give you an update on the foundation. I think it looks the same. It's just as I remembered it that long ago. The coverage is great. It's very smooth. The concealer, no problems. That was really what I was most concerned about. I didn't really have any concerns about the foundation. If they tweaked the formula, they subtracted something, tried to make it a little bit cleaner or healthier, I'm absolutely okay with that. If you mess with my concealer, then we might have a problem, because you guys know the struggle is real. When it comes to concealer, it's so personal and it can be so difficult to find one that truly works for you. I have maybe 3. I would say Chanel, Pat McGrath Labs, which is more full coverage but beautiful. I'm currently using the Hourglass. I like it. I really do like it. I don't know if it's really my favorite. I don't like it as much as the Pat McGrath and the Chanel, but I do like it, and I'm going to use it up. And this has not creased at all, and I've been sitting here talking. So if it was going to crease, it would have creased even before I set with powder. It didn't crease. Now that just blows my mind. Now that the makeup is finished, you really can't tell a noticeable difference. I can't. I mean, this screen that I'm looking at is teeny tiny. I don't have a monitor here. I don't really think there's a difference between the sides. Performance-wise, they look exactly the same. Thank goodness they didn't mess with our perfect concealer. If you're like me and you love this concealer, I'm sure you had a bit of panic as well. And they expanded the shade range. Even better. It's a win-win. Both products look great. I would tell you if there was some sort of issue. You know, time is the true judge. So I will continue to wear these products. I'll wear them outside. I'll wear them to events, photos, you name it, the works. In fact, I'll probably take these. I don't know if I'll take them with me on vacation over the weekend, just because we're going to the Keys and I'm planning on wearing zero makeup, but maybe I'll take them with me if we go out to dinner one night. I will always update you if anything changes, but I think it looks really good. I'm very happy with this complexion. Very happy with the makeup look, the eye look, the lipstick, everything came together. That completes today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Leave me your comments, questions down below. As always, I will be linking everything mentioned. Everything on my face will be down below in the description box for your convenience. And for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.